Welcome to this webinar. It is on PTE reading, and we're going to look at multiple choice, choose multiple answers. There's a real secret little method for this one, which will help you to get the right answers and increase your reading scores. What I'm going to do is, first of all, just describe the task to you. Then I'll show you the method. At the same time, we're going to do some guided practice. I'll really step you through one of these questions. Then I'm going to give you some practice to do on your own using the method that will now be in your will be in your brain. Then we'll do a recap, and at the end we'll do Q&A. Okay, so description. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is PTE reading, multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Whoa, it is, I think, probably the hardest PTE reading question type. You get a set of instructions which are important because transitioning between multiple choice single answer and multiple choice multiple answers, there's no indication. It doesn't tell you that it's changed from one to the other. So you need to know. How do you know that? Well, you can read the instructions where it says you'll need to select more than one response. You can also know that by here, these are square, near the answer options are squares. In multiple choice single answer, they're circular, okay? Plus in multiple choice single answer, you can only choose one. Here, you must choose at least two. You also get a question prompt, which we will talk about. You get answer options and you get a text. The text can be quite long, like this one, usually a little bit shorter. Overall, you get 2 or 3 of these in your exam, okay? Now, let's talk about scoring because this one creates some confusion with the scoring. First of all, you get 1 point for a correct answer and you get -1 for any incorrect answer, but 0 is the minimum score. So let's go through a few scenarios with scoring. So let's say there are 2 correct answers and you choose both of them, you'll get 2 points. Easy. Let's say there are 3 correct answers and you choose all 3 of them, you'll get 3 points. Easy. Let's say there are 2 correct answers and you choose one of them, but the other one you choose is wrong. 1 minus 1 equals 0. You'll get 0 points. Let's say there are 2 correct answers. You choose one that's right, but you choose 2 that are incorrect. You'll get 0. 1 minus 2 is -1, but 0 is the minimum score. Let's say there are 3 correct answers. You choose 2, but you don't choose one, or you choose an incorrect one. You'll get 1 point, 2 minus 1. Let's say there are 3 correct answers and you choose 1 correct, but you choose 2 that are wrong. You'll get 0 points. And if there are 2 correct answers, this is a bit different. If you don't choose one, let's say there are 2 correct answers, but you just choose 1. Well, by not choosing 2, because there will be another one that will be correct, but because you didn't choose it, you just chose 1, you will in fact get 0. Same if there are 3, you just choose 1, you'll always get 0. Same if there are 3, you choose 2, you'll lose a point because you didn't choose the third one. So you lose a point for the one that you don't choose, okay? So, in other words, what you have to do is choose at least 2 answer options. That's the tip. Choose at least 2. Maybe 3, but always at least 2. Cool. Now, let's do some guided practice. I'm going to teach the method while we go through one of these so it makes sense. So here's the first step. You need to understand the question prompt. It will ask you either to find truths. In other words, it's going to ask you to find corresponding statements that say the same thing as the answer options. Or it's going to ask you to look for details in the text. Or the question prompt will ask you to look for opinions or purposes. Or the question prompt will ask you to find inferences, or what does the author suggest, but doesn't actually write, but what are they trying to convey? But put simply, the question prompt is really important. So let's look at this one here. It says, which of the following statements are true of male pipefish? So that is incredibly important, because if you didn't read that properly and you just looked at it and said, which is true of pipefish, and you didn't see the word male, that would be problematic, okay? It's critical that you understand this part. And you really need to understand the key words. So again, what is true of male pipefish? Cool. So that's the first thing you need to do. Read the question prompt and understand it. Next, scan read the answer options with the question prompt in mind. You need to start to understand how that question prompt connects to the answer options. For example, you want to ask yourself, okay, what's true of male pipefish? Do male pipefish produce eggs? Connect this with the answer options. Do male pipefish produce eggs? Do male pipefish compete for access to females? Do male pipefish become pregnant and carry the young? Do male pipefish, or are they not ornamented? Are male pipefish not ornamented? With regards to male pipefish, is it the case that the bigger they are, the more attractive they are? Okay, so you're connecting this to the answer options. Very quickly you do that, because then that leads you to part 3 of the method, where you need to identify the keyword in the answer option, like eggs, for example, because now what we're going to do is we're going to confirm if that says the same thing as the text. And if it does, we tick it. And if it doesn't, we leave it. Okay, so we found a keyword here. This is a critical part of the method, finding a keyword in the answer option. Because then in step 4, you need to locate the corresponding keyword in the text. So here we've got, do male pipefish produce eggs? And here we've got the word eggs. So we know that we need to read this sentence, okay? So we've connected this to the answer option, and then we've connected the answer option to this part of the text. We move on to step 5, the most important part. We confirm or we disconfirm. In other words, does the text say the same thing as the answer option? If yes, then tick. If no, then leave. Well, let's go back and have a look. Do male pipefish produce eggs? So we've found the word eggs here. We know that we need to read this sentence. Previous studies have also found that large female pipefish, which are able to transfer more eggs to the male's pouch, are more attractive to the males. No, it says nothing about males producing eggs. In fact, it's sort of saying that females produce the eggs, okay? So the answer is no, we leave it and we move on. What you'll notice that I haven't done is read the entire text. There's not enough time. So instead of reading this entire text and then going, do male pipefish produce eggs? You find the keyword here, you find the corresponding keyword there, you read that section of the text and you confirm or disconfirm. That's the method. That's what it comes down to. Let's do step 3, 4, and 5. I want you to identify the keyword in the answer option. I want you to then locate the corresponding keyword in the text, and I want you to confirm or disconfirm. Okay? I've helped you out. I've actually given you where you need to read. You have, let's say 30 seconds to type in yes or no, okay, into the chat. Good question, Eugene. Please ask me that question at the end. Good, 10 seconds. All right, let's have a look. Okay, do male pipefish compete for access to females? It says here, for most species, males compete for access to females. So we know we've found the correct part to read. Think a peacock's tail or buck's antlers. But in some species, the sex roles are reversed and males carry the brood as in the case of pipefish and other members. So it's reversed. So for most species, males compete for females, but for pipefish, it's the reverse. So the answer is no. So we leave it, we've eliminated it, we move on to the next one, where step 3, we identify keyword in the answer option, then we locate the corresponding keyword in the text, then we confirm or disconfirm the statements. So, do male pipefish become pregnant and carry the young? I want you to read here. You have 30 seconds. Good, well done. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Cool, so do male pipefish become pregnant and carry the young? Let's have a look. In the upside down of world of the pipefish, sexual selection appears to work in reverse, with flashy females battling for males who bear the pregnancy and carry their young. Males bear the pregnancy and carry the young. So the answer is yes. Do male pipefish become pregnant and carry the young? Yes, you tick it. Good. Let's move on to the fourth one. Identify keyword in the answer option. Locate corresponding keyword in the text. Confirm or disconfirm. So they are not ornamented. So male pipefish are not ornamented. Let's confirm this or disconfirm this. Good. Excellente, excellente. So, a male pipefish ornamented? Well, let's see. It says, in these cases, females must compete for access to available mates. And indeed, researchers have found secondary sex traits, such as brightly colored ornamentation, evolving in female pipefish instead of males. So, they are not ornamented. The answer is, well, it's kind of tricky because that's a negative. They are ornamented. No, they are not ornamented. Yes, they are not ornamented. Okay, that's a bit of a tricky one because of the use of the word not. In other words, do male pipefish not have ornamentation? Yes. Do male pipefish have ornamentation? No. So male pipefish are not ornamented? Yes. That's a hard one to keep in your mind. Negatives with the word not are hard. Usually the questions won't have that. Good, let's move on to the last one to see whether there are 3 correct in this one or just 2. So identify keyword in the answer option, locate corresponding keyword in the text, confirm or disconfirm. The bigger the males are, the more attractive they are. Let's see. Good, Mirielle, well done. Remember, it has to say that the text must say that the bigger male pipefish are, the more attractive male pipefish are. If it says the opposite, it's definitely wrong. And if it doesn't say it, if it doesn't mention it, then it will also be wrong. It has to say it. In other words, it has to say it in other words. Cool, let me walk you through this one. So, the bigger the male pipefish, the more attractive to the females. Let's see. Previous studies have also found that large female pipefish, which are able to transfer more eggs to the male's pouch, are more attractive to the males. So it said that the bigger the female is, the more attractive to the male. So let's keep reading. But researchers found that size of male pipefish matters too. Now, size matters when it comes to male pipefish, but it doesn't say bigger or smaller. It just says size. So the answer there is no. It does not say that the bigger the male pipefish, the more attractive. It just says there's something to do with size. So we'll leave it. Overall, we can see that there are two answers for this reading multiple choice choose multiple answers. That is C and D. Cool. Well done. Now, tip. This tip, okay, so there are always 5 answer options. Okay, there are always 5 answer options. There will always be at least 2 that are correct, maybe 3. Okay, 2 or 3. I doubt whether there'll ever be 4 that are correct. It'll be 2 or 3. So you really need to eliminate incorrect answers to get to the correct answers. Okay, so if there are 5 and you can eliminate 3, well, you know that those last 2 must be correct. You really need to be able to eliminate because it increases your chances of choosing the correct ones. So you really need to look at that answer option and look at it in the text and say no, because then your chances of choosing the correct one have just increased by 20%. So that's good to know. Right, let's do a full practice. This time, I'm not going to help you out. I'm going to give you another tip. The answers are not in order. For example, here are the answer options, 5 of them. Here's the text. So the first one will not necessarily come at the start of the text. The first answer option might be at the bottom or in the middle, something like that. So it's not about going through the text sequentially. It's about finding the keyword in the answer options, finding the corresponding keyword in the text. Might be at the beginning, middle, or end. Okay, so find that keyword, find the corresponding keyword. That's how you do this one. Let me disappear. I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this one here. It's quite a big one, and I apologize if the text is a bit small. So the keyword for question A will obviously be healthcare industry. So find that in the text and then confirm it or disconfirm it according to the question prompt. What is currently true of graphene? Good, Amit. Well done. You found a good synonym there. Correct. Good, Rakshit. Well done. Good, Ravi. Good, Mohammed. Good, Kugason. Well done. Good, Jongwook-so. Good, Sushanta. Well done. Good, Srinad. Kugasan has asked, how long should we spend on these questions? All right. I'll answer that just in a second. You have 20 seconds to put in your answers now. Good, Muriel. Good thinking. Well done. You've eliminated one. That's important. All right. Let's have a look. This is a harder question. This one I've just given you. So, they're not easy though. They're not easy. These ones are particularly hard. It really does come down to the method that I've just showed you. That's what it's all about. All right, let's take a look. So, first of all, read the question prompt. What is currently true of graphene? Okay, what does that mean? What is currently true of graphene? So that means anywhere in the text where it says it has the potential to, or it could be used for, or it might be used for, or it will be used for, is not going to be correct. It has to be currently true of graphene. In other words, what is graphene currently being used to do now? Not in the future, now. So that's what the question prompt is asking, because a lot of this is about the potential of graphene. Cool? Right. So let's now do our trick. So the key word here is healthcare industry. And as somebody rightly pointed out, the word transforming is the same as revolutionize. So is graphene currently being used to transform the healthcare industry? The potential of graphene, which is already widely seen as a material that could revolutionize industries such as healthcare. So is that saying the same thing? Is graphene currently revolutionizing the healthcare industry? No. It's saying it has the potential to, it could transform the healthcare industry. So could revolutionize is not the same as is revolutionizing or is transforming. So we've eliminated A. It's not A. Now we move on to B. Graphene currently can carry electrical currents without resistance. It can carry an electrical current with zero resistance. Yes. Okay, good. That says the same thing. That answers this and it says yes. Now we move on to C. Graphene is currently used in MRI scanners. Well, where's the key word here? MRI. So I've matched here, but what I might have to do is read a little bit a little bit back in the text. But in a new study, researchers managed to activate the dormant potential for graphene to superconduct in its own right. This was achieved by coupling it with a material called blah, 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 blah. Superconductors, it's not talking about graphene. It says a new study has unlocked the potential for graphene to superconduct in its own right. Superconductors are already used in numerous applications because they generate large magnetic fields, an essential component of MRI scanners. It's not saying that graphene is currently used in MRIs. So no, okay? That's a tricky one. You might want to pause this when you're watching it and really read that and make sure you understand it. Superconductor. Now this one, is graphene currently a superconductor? Well, interesting, because here it says until now, superconductivity in graphene has only been achieved by doping it with or by placing it on a superconducting material. In other words, no. But if you keep reading, but in a new study, researchers managed to activate the dormant potential for graphene to superconduct in its own right. Yes, it is currently a superconductor. Previously it wasn't, but now through the new study, yes, it is a superconductor. So we currently have 2 correct answers. We move on to the third one, which is that graphene is currently used in high-speed computing. Superconducting graphene opens up yet more possibilities. The researchers suggest, for example, that graphene could now be used to create new types of superconducting quantum devices for high-speed computing. The answer is no. It could. It has the possibility to. But is it currently being used in high-speed computing? No. So the answers are B and D. If you typed in B and D, just B and D, you got 2 points. If you typed in B, D, and another one, you got 1 point. If you'll have to do the mathematics. I don't want to go through all the different possibilities there. Good. So let's recap the method, because the method is absolutely rock solid and critical. Here it is. First thing you need to do is understand the question prompt. You really need to understand it, okay? What is true of male pipefish? What is graphene currently used for, okay? What is the opinion of the author? Whatever it is, understand that question prompt. Then quickly read the answer options with the question prompt in mind. Connect that question prompt to the answer option so you know what that statement says, okay? For example, is graphene currently used in supercomputing? Okay, because then you have a statement that you can then take to the text to confirm or disconfirm. But you need to, first you need to find it. So you identify keywords in the answer option, like MRI, for example. Then you locate the corresponding keywords in the text. You scan your eyes over, you find MRI. So now you've got it here and you've got it here. And the final step is to confirm or disconfirm. Does it say the same thing? Tick. Does it say something different? Cross. Okay, that's the method for multiple choice reading in the PTE. Cool. Let me stop recording and we'll go to Q&A.